Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's Mary Jo from MaryjoesCreations. Welcome back to my channel. It is kind of late today. Like I told you yesterday, I have been doing a lot of stuff around the house, so I finally got a moment to sit down and relax. And I just wanted to do my 2 squares for the day and show you what I've also done, because today while I was editing the video that I put up yesterday, this is all getting confusing, y'all, like seriously, but the video that went up yesterday I edited this morning, and while I was editing it, I finished the last 10 starter rounds for my granny squares. And I will show them to you in just a moment. 1, 2, 3. I'm on my 4th round. I need one more. Let's pick a color. And we're going to move it around a little bit and grab something. Purple. Okay. And let me tell you something. We are getting the funkiest squares, and normally, like, I would be like, what in the world? But you know what? I'm actually, like, really liking the way it's coming out. And it's just going to definitely be a one-of-a-kind blanket. Let me tell you something. With all this scrap yarn, there's going to be really, like, no way to recreate this blanket. And, you know, those are my favorite kind of projects. Those one-of-a-kind projects that no one else has. Those are definitely my favorites. And that is exactly what this is going to be. And I'm not mad at it. So we're going to finish up this square, and then I'm going to show you, actually, let me show you that now. Because I will be going out shortly, so I want to make sure that, you know, I film as much as I can right now. But anyway, I did finish the squares, and funny thing is that, like, I only had one piece of scrap left, which was this. And so I put it back in the basket, you know, and if we pick that, it'll just be a little accent piece in one of the squares, because these squares are looking wild, y'all. Like, really looking wild. And I'm loving it. But let me do this cluster, and then we will show you, or I will show you. Okay. Well, this is what it's looking like so far. But I did 10 more, and I left them in here because I wanted to show you before I put them in the box with all the other ones, right? My little box that I have here that I pull out. So we have this one. And this one. I know they look kind of funky, but once we work them up, they'll look really good. We have an all black center, an all blue center. See, some of these, like, I just did it, if it went for the color, like, it was just these little pieces. I didn't cut them off, so I just made solid rounds, and that's it. We had 10 more, and that's all we needed. We needed 19 centers yesterday, and we did 10, and this morning we did the other 9, so now we are done. All we have to do now is pick two centers every day and make 2 squares. And I feel very good about that. I'm very comfortable with that. I will show you, I did, I was very low on the scrap yarn in the basket to be able to finish the squares. So what I did is, I believe I told you that I did have a bunch of half skeins in my workroom, and I didn't do the whole skein, right? Because I didn't need it. The balls were going to be way too big, and I want, you know, most of the balls that are in the basket to kind of be the same size, because I just want to know what I'm picking. I mean, I don't want to know what I'm picking. And if the balls are like, you know, if there's one ball that's a little bit bigger than the other ones, then I'm always going to know what that is. And that's not what I want. You know, so the purple ball that I had, which is what this came out of, I rolled that into like 3 separate balls yesterday. And what I did was just pull from the center of the skein and just made a little yarn ball that was the size more or less of the other ones. And I still have the skeins in my workroom, and they're actually divided in their own little cubby of like half skeins. So if I do need more skeins, I mean more color, and I need more yarn, we should have that. 1, 2, 3, 4. The only thing we won't have is the yarns that are over, you know? But can't do anything about that. Also, I have to remove a whip from my whip list, whips in progress, because whips in progress. I'm losing it. My whip list, because I didn't like the material. It was the scarf that I was making, and it's like that shiny yarn from those giant pink and purple squares and blue squares that I'm making from like the baby cardigan, the kid cardigan that I made. And it's kind of like that yarn, but it's multicolor. And I honestly, I was making a scarf, and I did not like the way it felt. The yarn felt rough and not like, you know, a scarf, you want it to be fluffy. Like, you could get away with a cardigan like that, but a scarf, I want a scarf to be fluffy and warm, not to be like, you know, shiny and fancy like that. Like, no. So what I did was I just took it apart, and I didn't put it back. Like, it was still attached to the skein, obviously. There wasn't a lot done, but I will show you, like, the yarn ball. What I did was I cut it off, and I rolled it up, and I put it in my yarn stash for this one, because I didn't have a lot of yarn, so I figured, you know, the yarn that I just showed you, the black and gray and whitish yarn that's in here, it's the same kind of yarn, the same texture. And there's some pink in there too. I don't have the squares in here anymore. I put them in my workroom because I am going to make a video, if not today, tomorrow, about all the things that I've made so far. So if I make it today, it might come out on Sunday. Oh, I'm losing my mind, y'all. Happy Vlogmas Day 13. 13. Holy Christmas. So, I threw the ball in here because that other pink yarn and that black yarn, it's almost over, and I do still have some of that yarn, but I figured I can use this yarn instead, and, you know, I still have like half the squares left, so it'll be good to have a different variety. I'm almost done with this square, and then I will show you that yarn. And we will see what happens next. I don't know if I'm going to make another square right at this moment. I do have something else that I have to go do before I go out, so I'm not sure if I will make the second square right now, but I will make the second square. And that is my plan now, to make sure that 2 squares get done a day. And it will be, again, a lot faster because I just have to grab a center square and just tie it on. And it's that easy. Like, I started this before I got on with you, and it's, what, 12 minutes? So, it took me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took me 20 minutes, more or less, to make this square. And I like showing this side because of the ends. But look at that. Even though it's, like, weird colors, I think it looks so cool. But I'm strange. So this is the yarn I'm talking about. And this is what, this was the scarf. I couldn't believe how big this ball was. And then I started this little one because, you know, instead of like trying to roll it, rip it, and put it back with the other skein, I just cut off where I had stopped. And this was the entire scarf, the section. It was about that big. And it's a blanket scarf, so it was pretty wide. Like, I think it was about 14 inches wide. But this is the scarf, this is the yarn that I'm going to use. And it's the same kind of construction as this yarn and this yarn. So there's a lot of squares that have these 2 yarns in them. And now we're going to have squares with these. And I think it's going to look all really nice once it's done. But I'm starting to get things on track. And not today. I still have my living room to finish decorating, but I can't really do anything until I get my Christmas lights, and they should be coming tomorrow, on the 13th. So, you know, well, for you it would be today. Wow. They should be coming in today. For me, it's Friday. For you, it's Saturday. This whole thing is confusing. But they should be coming in sometime today for you. And once they come in, I will be, you know, putting the lights up and doing that. So most likely by Sunday, I will be starting the cardigan. And we'll see how much we get in that Christmas cardigan. And I will probably be working on the blanket again. I do have to divide that skein and roll it up. I'm actually going to pull like from the center and from the side and just roll it up that way. But anyway, because then the pink will be on the inside, and that's what we want to finish off with. But I have one more whip taken off of my list because we frogged it, and I'm going to make a note that it was frogged. And we have one more square down. I counted them all yesterday. Yesterday we had 24 squares, so right now we have 25. And I'm very proud of myself. And I have been thinking about it. And like I said, I'm going to start focusing on the stuff that really has to get done before Vlogmas, which is 3 hats that I have to make. I want to make another Santa hat, the cardigan, and the baby blanket. That's what has to be finished before Vlogmas, because I want to wear the cardigan on Christmas Eve, and the blanket needs to be done. The squares obviously need to be done. By the time, by the 25th, I want a stack of 50 squares. And everything else can wait. I was going to try and rush with that blanket that I showed you yesterday so that I can have that left over. I don't need those squares right now. That wasn't part of Vlogmas challenge. It was part of the whip challenge, but I honestly really thought I was going to get a lot more done, and that just didn't happen. So what we're going to focus on now is going to be to get these squares done, the blanket done. There's 2 squares every day. The blanket finished. The 3 hats that I need to make for presents, and my cardigan. And everything else, if I have time, I will work on. But I am not going to rush because I'm just not. There's a lot going on, and, you know, it's catching up to me. Like, my left foot is so swollen, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's from the fibromyalgia or the weather or what, but my foot is really, just messing with me. And, you know, today I was walking up and down the stairs into the basement taking stuff, and I would love to do more, but I was not prepared for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really was not prepared for this. How long it would take to edit videos, and, you know, it's just, it's been a lot. And I'm starting to get the flow, and I know that next year will be a lot better. But for right now, I'm just going to do what I can and focus on what's important, what I need done from now until Christmas. And it's the 13th. So that means that we only have 12 days left. So I need to get my ass moving and work on the, not just focus on the blanket. I'm not going to focus on the blanket like I was. And my friend was very nice. She did say that I don't have to rush the blanket now, but I would still like to get the blanket finished before Christmas. And I do need to make, I need to make 4 hats, not counting the Santa hat. I need to make 4 hats. So what I'm thinking is that on starting Monday, because I don't know what this weekend is going to be like, because I gotta get that living room ready, and I can't even film in the living room yet anyway because of all the totes that are left with all the decorations. I got the tree up, I got most of the stuff out, but I still have to decorate everything, and I'm going to do that this weekend. So I won't really start crocheting until, like, full on, until Monday. So what I was thinking is that on Monday, I'm going to work a little bit on the blanket, and then y'all know that I take a break, and then when I come back, I'm going to make a hat. And then if I feel okay and I can, after I take a break, if I feel okay and I can work and I can crochet more, then I will maybe work on the blanket a little bit more. And then the next day, do the same thing. Work on do my 2 squares, work on the blanket. Well, the squares I might work on when I'm editing. If I don't, if I edit in the morning, because I don't know. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to edit every night before I go to sleep. I don't know if that's possible. But most likely, I'll work on the squares and then show them to you, definitely, that day. But, like if I edit in the morning, then I'll make the squares in the morning while I edit. If I don't edit in the morning, then I will film myself making the squares, because I do everything off of my phone, so I can't film myself making the square if I'm editing. So either way, we'll be doing the 2 squares, and the 2 squares, I will pick the colors. Okay, that's interesting. I will pick the colors for these while I'm on the phone. While I'm filming. 1. And I think we only need 2. Okay. Okay. So I'm working on the second one right now. Okay, so I didn't do much today. I just needed a day where I could really just relax and chill out. But I did want to get a second square done. And tomorrow's video is most likely going to be all the stuff that I've made up until today. I did end up cleaning up my workroom enough, and I believe that I'm also going to start on the Christmas cardigan for me. I have two that I'm working on. I have one with puzzle yarn. That is going to be a cardigan, but it's not going to be a hexie cardigan. I want to make it more like where it's solid like this, but kind of closer to being like a real coat, kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be as warm as an actual coat, but I am doing it in half double crochets. So the whole thing is going to be done in half double crochets, and that way it will be warmer, because I do, and it's a 5-weight yarn, so it is a lot thicker, and I can tell by the material, like once I started working it up, it looks really thick and solid, not like definitely not like the hexies, you know. I wanted to do it in solid half doubles, because like this is made with I believe doubles and half doubles, and while this is really warm, it's still, you know, not as a solid material, a solid, let's try that again. It's not a solid fabric, because essentially when we're putting this together, it becomes a fabric. And I think that doing it all in half double crochets is going to make it really solid and really warm. And if I decide to, you know, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how it's going to come out. I don't know what it's going to feel like, if it's going to be really warm. But that's the whole point. When I design something new, is I don't know what I'm going to get from it, you know? And so I want to see how this cardigan works up. I have buttons for it. And if I have enough, well, I was going to say if I had enough, I'm going to make a hoodie. But even if I don't have enough, I will try and get more so that I can put a hood on it. And honestly, I was thinking, like, I first wanted to make it like a solid color, which is what I have. Just the green, it's over there. Just the, green puzzle yarn. It's like, it's not really a solid green. And I'll show you as soon as I do this cluster. I'll go grab it. I'm sure that you guys have seen it already. So this is the yarn that I'm using. And I have 4 of these skeins, which is 328 yards each. So, and it works up pretty fast. I mean, like, I've only done, I think I'm using a 6mm hook, and I've only done 2 rows, and that's like really thick for 2 rows. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe 3. I'm trying to see. 1. I believe it's 3 rows. And you see, it's like more solid, I think it's going to look nice. Now the panels are going to go run this way, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it one entire piece without having to, you know, stop and then do the work it up. Like, I want to do it going all the way around, and then when I get enough for the sleeve, I'm going to, you know, leave a space so that it can be sewn up together. The front, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm going to figure out how to make it one solid piece and then sew up the top, or actually maybe slip stitch it together or join as you go. I don't know yet, but we're going to sew up the top, and then the sleeves are going to be worked on the jacket itself. So we're going to see what happens. I am creating this from scratch. I'm writing down, this is like a base pattern that I'm going to be writing. I wanted to start it just to see how it looks, and this yarn is very dark, so I'm still getting used to being able to see each round. So it's three rows of half double crochets. It's the chain, a row of single crochet, and then 3 rows of half double crochet. And I'm really liking the way it looks. And obviously it's not going to be, you know, as thick as as warm as a regular coat, but I don't get very cold unless it's like below 40. So for me, something solid like that with buttons and a hood would probably be good for most of the winter. And that's what I'm going for. And again, unless it drops to low, you know, and I want it kind of long. So once this is kind of pretty long, I believe this was 64 or 66 chains, a chain of 64 or 66. I believe I wrote it down, but if not, I will count my stitches and then I'll know. Then I'll know how many I have, obviously. Sorry, I'm still tired. But I'm going to be working on that today. And I think I'm also going to start on, well, technically for tomorrow. I will be starting on that tomorrow. And I think I'm also going to start on the other Christmas cardigan. And my 2 squares. So tomorrow I will be doing 2 squares. And I will try to start the other cardigan and do some work on this cardigan. Because those are the things that I want for Christmas, right? And like right now, I want to work on the biggest things Saturday and Sunday and get a start on them. Because next week is when I want to start going back and forth. So it'll be like, you know, instead of focusing on one project like I was doing, and I have a tendency of doing, I get hyper-focused on one project sometimes because I just want to get it finished, like that blanket, and that kind of burned me out. And that was really why I always had a few projects going, because I would start one project, like I would have 3 going at the same time, because, you know, most of the times I can sit down like 3 times a day and crochet for a little while each time. And I would work on most of the time I would work on the 3 projects that I had throughout the day, and I would get them done, and then like when they were close to being finished, that's when I would finish one off. But I got so I had so many things going on, and then I got hyper focused on the blanket, and that's why I ended up with so many whips. And I believe I got a lot of them down. So I'm going to go through my book, and remember the scarf, I'm going to remove the scarf from the list as frogged, because this is the yarn that I was making the scarf out of, the V-stitch scarf, and it was coming out pretty. But again, the texture of this yarn, I didn't like it for a scarf. I didn't want it for a scarf. I think scarves should be fluffy and warm, and even though this is warm, it's just, I don't know, I didn't like it. I think I want to make the scarf, and I have a skein of this color, I think, or is it the shade darker, that I'm going to make the scarf out of. Because I do want to have some scarves and some hats on my website. It's just been, this Vlogmas has really taken a lot out of me. And again, I didn't have stuff set up properly, which was no fault of my own, and, you know, no fault of anybody else. It's just life, and I had to get certain things, like I was trying to get the website up and get product done and get get like my YouTube channel started, and it was like I didn't have enough time. I got thrown into this and didn't have enough time to set up a foundation before I started doing all of this. So I'm kind of doing it all at once, setting up the foundation for my website and making sure I have some product to put up there. And I've been neglecting Facebook and Instagram because I haven't, it's just a lot for me because of my fibro, and this weather doesn't help. It's been freezing here, and, you know, I think and I believe that once I get over this, this hump, and, you know, the channel is growing slowly but surely. I think I checked, and I'm up to 46 subscribers, so thank y'all so much. That makes me so happy. I can't believe that, you know, it's grown this far, you know, and I don't try to go by other people, you know, like what other channels are doing or how many followers other channels have. I don't, like, I'm not trying to measure up to that. I just want to be better than myself every day a little bit more. And really, I'm competing with myself, not anybody else. So I greatly appreciate every single one of you that has, oh, wait, that has helped me. I've used too much of this yarn. Okay, so we're going to cut this yarn off here. And there's the yarn ball, and that's going to go back into the basket. And we're going to tie this one on. And I think we're going to finish with this one. And this is a different purple than the last one I finished. But, so yeah, I am so grateful that people are watching and hopefully liking and sticking around. It is going to get better. I promise. You know, I think that after Vlogmas, when I take my 2-week break, it's going to give me a chance to finish setting up the foundation, finish getting up all the things that are done on to my website, and get a better schedule as to how I'm going to be doing things. You know, I'm not going to be posting a video every single day, you know, after Vlogmas. So it's going to be a lot easier, because if I can post a video every single day for Vlogmas, then I can figure out how to post videos. At least my goal is 3 times a week. That's going to be my goal. Maybe more, depending. But I want to have time to also have content to go up on my Facebook and my Instagram, and make sure that I have everything scheduled so that, you know, I have an easier time, and I'll be able to make videos and maintain my website and post on social media, you know, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. Threads I'm new at. I have posted a few things, but again, like, it was just so much, and I didn't know which way to turn, and things weren't set up, and, you know, I'm trying to juggle everything at once. And once I get the foundation and get a schedule down, I think it's going to be much easier. And, you know, I would love to do anywhere between 3 to 4 videos a week. Figure out when I want to post, what days I want to post, and I will keep all of you informed. And most likely give a schedule out either during my break or directly after my break. So that way, you know, you have a better idea of when I post. And also, the last time I checked, it was 46 subscribers. So we need 4 more for me to go live. And I'm very excited about that. And also very terrified. Very terrified. But I think it's going to be fun. And I just wanted to thank all of you for going on this journey with me. It means a lot to me, because I think I've said in previous videos, and I don't know if you've seen them, but the whole point that I wanted to start this channel was to, you know, inspire someone else who might be going through either something the same or something similar to what I'm going through. And, you know, giving someone the courage to just follow what you want to do, follow your dream. And if you really want to crochet and make beautiful things, go for it, dude. And if there's any questions that anyone has, again, I only started doing this in December. In January, it will start my 3rd year. And I'm very excited. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well, that's where it's going to end, because I was running my mouth. And see, that's what I think the fun of these squares is, because it's not going to be, it's wherever, you know, the yarn takes us. And this one is a little heavy with the with this yarn, but look how cute that looks, or at least I think it's cute. And I think it's going to look really cute with, like, all the squares. Like, I'm still trying to decide what color I want to do the joining method and possibly a border. But I mean, if you know me, I don't really do fancy borders. I don't like it. I'm very simple. I'm a very, very simple girl. And I think it would look, once they're all joined, I think it would look really pretty with just like maybe 2 rounds of half double crochet and then a round of single crochet to finish it off. and bring the blanket together. And I really like that. It's like, that's how I do my hexies. I don't do ribbing. I never liked ribbing. I can do ribbing. I've done it before. And I don't mind it, but I don't know, like maybe for hats, but for like cardigans and I don't, on sweaters, I never liked ribbing. I never liked sweaters that had ribbing. I like simple, either like, this sleeve, which now that I have more black yarn, I didn't make these sleeves. I like long sleeves. And I didn't have enough yarn at the time, so these sleeves just barely come up to my wrist. And I didn't even think of it, but maybe I can do, I only finished this off with a single crochet, so maybe I can do a few more rows just so that they're the way I like them, because they kind of bother me. I like really long sleeves. But I like simple. I like the way it looks where it's just the sleeve. There's no ribbing. Or the way I do my hexies where once I tighten it up, I believe it's 3 to 4 rounds of half double crochets and then 2 or 3 rounds of single crochet to finish it off. And they look beautiful. And I get compliments on my cardigans all the time, especially the sleeves. People like the way I do my cuffs because it's not traditional, and not everybody likes ribbing. Yes, a lot of people love ribbing. That's why most sweaters are done with ribbing and everything else. But there are a few of us who do not like ribbing. And for those of you out there who do not like ribbing and don't know how to finish off your cuffs, I can help you with that. And see, like even this, I did make the collar a little too, I wanted to make it so it would close. And then I ended up with a little bit of a collar. Because again, this was one of my first pieces and I'm just trying to figure it out. But if anyone who watches me ever has a problem following something the way, how can I put it? Like, if your edges aren't coming out straight and you don't know how to get them straight, I had a problem with that. I do it. I don't think I've seen anyone do it the way I do it. I do things a little bit differently. And like when I'm doing a panel of half double crochets, not half doubles, double crochets, I don't start off with the chain 2, or some people do chain 3, and I was doing chain 2. And I stopped doing that when I learned how to do the stacked single crochet, because I think it gives it a much cleaner look doing the stacked single crochet than chaining 2 or 3. And not only that, and I haven't tried it yet, so I will be trying it soon, but not only that, you know how like if you do want to put a border on something and you have the panel's done in the panel is done in double crochets. When you do the chain 2 or chain 3 on the side, when you turn it, like, you finish off the row, you chain 1 and you turn, and then chain 1 more or chain 2 more, depending on how you do it. It's hard to go into those stitches to do the border. And when you start off that row with a stacked single instead of a chain 2 or a chain 3, it's much easier to go into those stitches when you want to do the border. But then that's my opinion. And some people might not agree with me, and that's okay. You do you, boo. If that's how you like it, then and it works for you, that's awesome. That doesn't work for me. And I'm sure that there are people out there that are like me and they have trouble, especially when you're starting. So all the tips that I would have for you is from a beginner. And if that can help you, that's what I'm here for. That's the whole purpose of this, to share my learning experience so that if you are like me and you're having a hard time learning or getting things a certain way, I want to share my tips with you so that way if they help you, then my job is done. The purpose of these videos are being accomplished, and that's all I want. I want to help other people, not because I'm a professional and you know, I can teach. That's not what this is. I by no means am a, you know, longtime professional and qualified to teach. Absolutely not. What I am qualified to do is show you as a beginner and the little tips and tricks that I've learned to help me get to where I am right now. And I'm willing to share that with somebody who like me might be struggling learning, and I just want to help. And if you like that, then I hope you stick around. And you know I ramble a lot sometimes, but that's just who I am. I hope well, clearly if you're subscribing, then you don't mind. And I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching my videos. It helps me so much. And the more I'm on, the more I can help you. I'm still learning. So what I want to do is I want to learn along with you guys. Whenever I see something that's difficult, I want to point it out, and maybe you might be having the same problem that I have. And I know that there are some people who don't have the ability to maybe figure it out, because not everybody does, and that's okay. But I do have the ability to figure out. So if I can figure it out and I can help you, help one person, help 5 people, that's all I want to do. So we will be working on some new stuff. And I think I'm more comfortable now than I was in the beginning. And maybe I will, start creating stuff on video with you guys, so you can see my process. And maybe that'll help somebody as well, because I can't, if you are not aware of this, I can't follow patterns. It's not that I can't read them. I have severe dyslexia. So I get confused very quickly. Even with tutorials sometimes. Certain like steps confuse me. And what I do is I do watch some tutorials, but they're more like reference. And I figure out if there's something that they're doing that I can't process because my brain just works differently, I figure out how to do it my own way. And if I can share that, that's the whole point of me wanting to start this channel. So since I can't follow patterns and it's very confusing for me, I create my own stuff. I use things for inspiration, but I, in the end, write out my own patterns, do my own stitch counts, do my own math and measurements and all of that, because that's just how my brain works. So if your brain works like my brain, I'm sorry. And I hope that I can help you guys, don't give up, because crocheting is relaxing and it's fun. And yeah, sometimes you get frustrated, but that's with everything in life. Sometimes things are just going to be frustrating, but we can push through and we can figure it out. And it's so worth it at the end that you have something that you can use. And that's what I take from it. I love creating because, you might not be able to afford a beautiful handmade crochet cardigan, whether it's a hexie cardigan or a regular cardigan, but maybe you can, it's cheaper buying the yarn and doing it yourself. And if that's what you like, then I want to help you. And again, I am by no means a teacher, and or at this moment a pattern designer. There are a lot that goes into them, and I don't know all the technical stuff, but I will be figuring that out. And I might not write patterns, not just yet, but I do believe that I will be making, if you guys want to see like something that I made and you want to make it too, maybe this year will be, maybe not this year, duh, it's almost over. Next year. That might be a goal for next year, to maybe make some tutorials on stuff that I've made so you can see how I make them. And if you like, I can do some of those. And then hopefully the goal to one day is to maybe write patterns. That is my goal. How far into the future that is, I have no fucking clue. But that is a goal. And I have a few, but that's going to be a video for January. And I will let you know what my goals are for the upcoming year. And hopefully when I do that video, I will have a beautiful blanket wrapped around me to show you. But these are the 2 squares that we have for today. And I don't know why they're coming up so bright on camera, because the colors are actually not that bright. I don't get it. I mean, even this purple, it's coming out so vivid, and it's really not that vivid. But anyway, these are the 2 squares, and we are officially at 26 squares. Yay! And we're going to put these yarns back into the basket, and tomorrow we will do 2 more squares and possibly work on a cardigan or 2. I don't know. But I will see you tomorrow. Happy Vlogmas, everybody. And again, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet and you like it here, hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. And there's something else. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. I'm so tired. Oh, you can hit the little bell that's there, and it'll notify you when I'm on. And on that note, I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye, guys.